I have like a true radio microphone.
I can't see because you also have a whatever that weird thing is that's in front of the microphone.
It's blocking your voice from getting into my fancy microphone.
Yeah, that's what that does.
With the little screen, the windscreen thing?
No, that's a pop filter. This is something that's on the other side of the microphone.
Oh.
Here, I'll just I'll take a photo here.
No, I'll take a picture from my side.
Okay, you take a picture from your side.
Get both angles. Welcome to I'd Buy That for $1, a podcast about inexpensive, common, and underappreciated records that are waiting to be rediscovered. I'm your host, Sean Hartman, author of the book 10,001 Punny Album Titles to Read Before You Die.
That will happen.
Yeah.
Sean.
First entry, Amos Garrett, Amos Behavin'.
Yeah. I love your love for punny album titles. Let me just say that here and now.
It just makes me so happy.
Well, I'm glad you're happy right now because I got to confess something, fellas.
Oh, no.
Ooh, I love a good Jeremy confession.
Well, for our listeners, we like to joke regularly about using all our Patreon money to buy a podcast mansion. And I was like, I'm going to make this happen. We only have like scraps of money, so I'm going to really make some speculative investments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those investments didn't super pan out, if I'm being honest.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so our podcast mansion kind of looks like my old Tennessee home. I don't know if you've seen the cover of that Dolly Parton album.
It looks like that.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that.
That's our mansion.
Yeah.
I better pull it up here real quick.
It's like the shack that her family grew up in with like 28 kids or some crazy number.
Well, I'll say that for podcast money, that's not too bad.
Got to start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. No, you know what? It's okay. It's a start, Jeremy. I consider that a success.
All right. We'll trade up in a few years after more podcast money rolls in.
I'm ready. Well, I am co-host Peter Cook, and I'm excited to announce a new tribute album that I've produced of singer Maria Muldaur covering the songs of Limp Bizkit. It's called Midnight at the Oasis and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. Subtitle, $3 bill, y'all.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
I figured I was really taking a chance on doing the $3 bill, y'all reference, so I had that my subtitle. I figured one of you would get there first.
Yeah, that was good. I'm both like happy you slam dunked that and sad that I don't get to make that joke later now.
You were waiting to do it. Well, by the end of this, maybe people will have forgotten and you can make it again. We got a ways to go before we get to the $3 bill song.
Okay.
And first, before we even introduce the album, we should probably introduce our guest, who is clearly as entertained by Limp Bizkit references as we are. Joining us again on I'd Buy That for $1 for, the umpteenth time is a music supervisor and DJ. Welcome back to the podcast, Taylor Rowley.
Legendary guest.
Hello. I do appreciate any reference to Limp Bizkit. Thanks for having me back.
And this is an album that you've come on to talk about, Taylor, that probably from day one of doing this podcast, I've been planning to talk about, and just for some reason,
it took 5 years.
It took so long. Yeah. Would you like to introduce it?
Sure. We are going to talk about Maria Muldaur's first solo album, which is self-titled, from 1973.
Which it's hard to believe when you look into her career that her solo album is coming out a decade into her professional career, but we've seen that with other artists too. And we'll talk more about that, but we should probably play the song that is the reason that this is a widespread album available in dollar bins across the United States and beyond. Would you like to introduce that number, Taylor?
Yes, we are going to hear her hit single, probably her only hit single. Not sure if that's correct. Is that true?
There is one other, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
This is the one. This is the big one.
This is the big one, referenced in many, well, at least 2 movies that I can think of. The song is called Midnight at the Oasis.
Side A, track 2.
Midnight at the Oasis, send your camel to bed. Shadows painting our faces, traces of romance in our hands. Heaven's holding a half moon, shining just for us. Let's slip off to a sand dune real soon. Kick up a little dust. Come on, cactus is our friend. He'll point out the way. Come on, till the evening ends. Till the evening ends. You don't have to answer. There's no need to speak. I'll be your belly dancer, prancer, and you can be my sheep. I know your daddy's a sultan, a nomad known to all, with 50 girls to attend him. They all send him a jump man's beck and call.
Definitely the iconic song from Maria's catalog. And I do love her vocals and everything on there. But real quick, just got to shout out that incredible guitar solo and the really interesting, like, funky guitar work from previously mentioned Amos Garrett.
Yeah, he's one of those your favorite guitarists that is virtually unknown to the greater public. But this is sort of his shining moment. If there's anything people know him from, it's his guitar solo on Midnight at the Oasis. I mean, he's all over the place. He played on Karen Dalton's In My Own Time.
Yeah. Todd Rundgren's Something Anything.
Yeah.
Also, this song was written by her other guitarist, David Nichtern.
Yeah, it's interesting. This song was an afterthought on the album. Surprise, surprise. I feel like it's not the first time we've talked about the hit song being something that the artist didn't expect to catch on. Maria included this song to fill out the album with one more medium tempo song requested from the producers, Joe Boyd and Lenny Waronker. And she decided to give a nod to a young guitarist, David Nichtern, who had been supportive of her as she transitioned into her solo career. And he had written this song, and so they put together a quick arrangement, recorded it, and it became a surprise smash hit. It wasn't until 1974 that this song caught on, which was about 6 months after the album was released in mid-73. It took a while, but once it did, look out. It really caught on. It reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 in June of 1974.
And stayed there for like 6 months, I think.
It was it was a pretty ubiquitous song. And of course, Maria loves to tell the fact that people are very TMI with her about it. having been the soundtrack to much what should we say?
Procreation.
Procreation in the
Lovemaking?
90s. She says like people come up to her all the time with stories.
Honestly, she deserves it because it makes me uncomfortable having to listen to her like get all racy in here. So
Is this too much for you?
Honestly, the song feels cringy to me in a few different ways where I'm like, it gets under my skin in a way, other than the guitar solo, which is mind-blowingly good.
I have to confess here, because I know a lot of people love this song, but for a long time, I hated this song because of an association I had with it. I was in the process of breaking up with a long-term partner. This is now over 15 years ago, and we're cool. But at the time, we were breaking up. Things were not good, and she became obsessed with this song right at that time. So, I just remember having that association and the lines about like cactus is our friend, and just thinking it was so stupid and weird. And years later, for some reason, because sometimes when I dislike something so much, I want to learn more about it.
Oh, sure.
And so I checked out the whole album to find that it was this really incredible, diverse, beautiful sounding album. And I've adjusted. It's not Midnight at the Oasis is by no means my favorite song on the album, though. I'm curious if other people have a story or an association with the song.
My like weird association with it is that I was much more into the cover version of it by the jazz funk band Pleasure, which would have come out right around the time that this song was really hitting the charts. The single was released in 1974, and I DJ'd it many times without ever like realizing that it was the Maria cover, because I was never a huge Maria Muldaur fan. So it's just like the cover version is different enough where I just like never made that association until like, oh wait, yeah, obviously I've heard the original before.
I don't know that song, the version that you speak of. I'll have to check that out.
It's from Pleasure's debut album, Dust Yourself Off.
All right.
Very, very good cover. Definitely check it out.
Cool.
It's pretty fire.
My entree into the song was I did not know it was even a real song when I heard it for the first time. But in high school, I saw this movie, Waiting for Guffman. Have you guys seen that movie?
The mockumentary.
Yes, about like a small town community theater troupe putting on a play about their town. Anyway, and it's a Christopher Guest movie. It's hilarious. Everybody should see it if they haven't already. But there's an audition sequence in the film, and Fred Willard and Catherine O'Hara, who play a married couple, sing and do a dance routine to this song, and it's hilarious. And so I always loved that, and I thought I didn't know it was a real song until much later. I think I didn't know it was actually a real song until I saw Lost in Translation several years later, in which Bill Murray is kind of like smirking in the bar of the Japanese hotel where he's staying at, like a lounge singer, an American lounge singer singing this song. And I was like, oh, that's like a real song.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in over 20 years, so I had no sense that this song was also featured. I just remember a bunch of My Bloody Valentine music or Kevin Shields.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. And then him singing Peace, Love, and What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. And ScarJo singing Brass in Pocket.
Wow.
And the karaoke scene.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's got a great soundtrack.
I have not seen Waiting for Guffman, unfortunately. I really need to, but I watched the clip of the Midnight at the Oasis audition multiple times today. It's pure gold.
It's hilarious. It stands on its own. You don't even need to know what's going, the context of what's going on to think it's those two could do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there are other songs on this album aside from Midnight at the Oasis. I'm guessing that many copies out there, the Midnight at the Oasis is all beat up, and the rest of the album's in like VG Plus or near mint condition. It's definitely one of those. So many people, if you mention Maria Muldaur, that's what they know.
Mm-hmm.
They know nothing more. But this is a great album. I will say I have loved it for a decade now. And I'm ready to play my favorite track on the album, which is the Work Song, a song by Kate McGarrigle. We've previously discussed Kate and Anna McGarrigle. I do have to give a disclaimer before we play this song. This song includes a commentary on old-timey, sentimental, popular songs that often included racist themes, and in making that commentary, it includes a racial slur in the opening bars. So I just wanted to get that out there before we play this song. But I do find it a very poignant and powerful song. We can discuss that more when we come back. But how about we listen to the Work Song?
Let us listen.
Side A, track 5.
Back before the blues were blue, when the good old songs were new, songs that may no longer please us, about the darkies, about Jesus, Mississippi minstrels, color of molasses, strumming on their banjos to entertain their masses. Some said garbage, others said art. You couldn't call it soul, you had to call it heart. Whoa, backs broke, bending, digging holes to plant the seeds. The owners ate the cane and the workers ate the weeds, putting wood in the stove and water in the cup. You worked so hard that you died standing up. When I was a little thing, my papa tried to make me sing Home Sweet Home and Orally. These were songs that my daddy taught me. Camptown races and Susanna, don't you cry. Gentle Annie still brings a tear to my eye. Label it garbage, label it art. You couldn't call it soul, you had to call it heart. Oh, backs broke, bending, digging holes to plant the seeds. The owners ate the cane and the workers ate the weeds, putting wood in the stove and water in the cup. He worked so hard that you died standing up.
As I mentioned, this was written by Kate McGarrigle, and this was just prior to when Maria recorded this song. This was just prior to Kate and Anna McGarrigle getting a recording contract of their own and working on their debut album with the producer, one of the producers of this album, Joe Boyd. And that's kind of, at this point, that's what they were writing songs for other artists. So Kate sadly passed away in 2010. I wanted to get some insight into exactly, if I could discern exactly where the authorship of this song was intending to come from. And I decided to just give it a shot and email Anna McGarrigle, Kate's sister. And I asked if she could provide any insight into Kate's intentions. And she responded to me. And I was blown away and thrilled. Anna told me that it was definitely influenced by Stephen Foster, of course, the foundational American popular song author, Stephen Foster. The sisters had an old songbook, Kate and Anna had an old songbook with a faded red cover called Heart Songs, which included Stephen Foster songs in it. And of course, as they learned these songs, they noticed that a lot of the lyrics would offend today. This, of course, being the 1960s, 70s when they were learning these songs. While the Work Song, inspired by this Heart Songs book with Stephen Foster songs in it, does seem to hold some reverence for the forefathers of popular song, but the lyrics challenge listeners to confront the painful and exploitative themes often embedded in the American folk tradition with vivid imagery of that suffering at the expense of workers to benefit others in the chorus. And later in the song, just beyond the point that we heard there in that clip, the narrator asks instead for songs about love and connection. That is, having listened to this many, many times over, the interpretation that I've discerned. I feel it is somewhat ambiguous. They're kind of juxtaposing different things. That's what I've gotten out of it. I'm curious if anyone else sort of got that interpretation from it or something different. It's a protest song, but like the best ones, it's not necessarily heavy-handed or too on the nose, I feel like.
Yeah, I deduced it was kind of tongue-in-cheek, though the chorus, as you mentioned, is pretty openly anti-capitalist, which I enjoyed. But yeah, I think the way it kind of praises old songs while also calling them out makes it a little like hard to discern what they're trying to say with the verses, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it's there's definitely a lot there that you could take a lot of different things away from. That's why I felt the need to try to get some primary source insight into it.
Yeah, that's wild. She emailed you back.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Anna.
I love that. And she said voila at the end of her
She
email.
did. Yeah, I showed Taylor the message.
Yeah. That's so cool. I'm a huge fan of her and Kate. And yeah, I mean, back to Maria Muldaur's performance of this song, I think it's so good. But my one criticism of her as a singer is that she always sings other people's work, and she's really good at mimicking people. I think she sounds almost too Kate and McGarrigle in this song. I don't think she owns it enough on her own terms. And I felt that way on another song that we're not listening to in this episode. She's my Tennessee Mountain Home by Dolly Parton. I'm like, this. She just does it too Dolly, I think.
Yeah.
What do you
one's
think?
Very Dolly.
Yeah.
That was a brand new song at this time too.
Yeah, it's just like too, almost like I'm like, is this Dolly? Or you know what I mean? And I feel this way with the work song also. But she's a great singer, and I like this song a lot. But yeah, that's my one little nitpicky thing about Maria Muldaur, is that she's a good mimic.
Well, yeah, I mean, this album stylistically is all over the place, and you could think that on any given song, that was her, like the style that she primarily focused on. And as well, we're going to get into the bio here, and we'll see why she has such a diverse range
right
in her voice. Should we just get right into it?
Sure.
She was born Maria D'Amato in 1942 into an Italian-American family in Greenwich Village, New York City. And Maria's mother made an effort to give her a classical music upbringing, but her Aunt Katie sabotaged this effort by introducing Maria to early country western music. By age 5, Maria was listening to Hank Williams, Ernest Tubb, and Hank Snow. The first song she remembers learning to sing was It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonk Angels by Kitty Wells. Of course, we, a while back, covered Ellen McElwain doing a version of that song. In junior high and high school, in the mid to late 1950s, Maria took an interest in the rhythm and blues music she was hearing on the black stations and put together a doo-wop group with friends called the Cashmeres. And they would perform outside the influential Brill Building in New York City. For those who don't know, we've talked about it before, but it was one of the central hubs for popular songwriting in both the 1950s and the early 1960s. And this is they're teenagers, mind you, and this is like when they're supposed to be in school or studying, they're going up and performing outside the Brill Building. However, they did manage to secure a record contract, but being only 15 or 16, they had to have their parents' consent, and Maria's mother, finding out what her daughter has been up to when she's supposed to be studying or in school, was vehemently opposed. Maria was heartbroken by her parents not supporting her music career, and she left home at the age of 17 while still a high school student. But unlike most people who do this, she didn't have to go more than 6 blocks from home since she was already in New York City. She began working as a mother's helper, or what we would probably call a nanny nowadays. And this is when her greater musical education truly began. The couple she worked for had an incredible record collection in which she discovered blues legend Bessie Smith, which was revelatory for young Maria. and she came to be very influenced by a lot of early blues artists. She was getting room and board for her work, and after she put the kids to bed at night and did her homework, she would go out with a friend who knew where all the hip jazz shows were. She got to see people like Cannonball Adderley, Horace Silver, and Thelonious Monk, the latter of which she got to meet as she was one of 8 people in the audience, she said that night.
Wow.
And so although her music is clearly indebted to these blues and jazz influences, her performing career began to take shape with what was happening right at her doorstep in Greenwich Village in the late 1950s and early 1960s, which, can we guess what that was?
Folk music.
Yeah. Yeah, the American folk music revival. She fell in love with old-timey Appalachian fiddle music, and she even went down to Deep Gap, North Carolina, to learn how to play fiddle from Doc Watson's father-in-law, Gaither Carlton. While visiting, she also got to witness performances by artists like Flatt and Scruggs, Mississippi John Hurt, Son House, and Skip James, to name just a few, like all the big legends of blues and bluegrass. That's quite the education.
Yeah.
Then back in New York, around 1963, she was invited to join the Even Dozen Jug Band, which included John Sebastian in the lineup, later of the Love and Spoonful, as well as David Grisman, renowned bluegrass mandolin player. And that jug band, the Even Dozen Jug Band, released one album. She was then a member of the Jim Kweskin Jug Band as a fiddle player and vocalist, and recorded several albums with them throughout the 1960s. She ended up marrying Kweskin Jug Band guitarist Jeff Muldaur, and after the band dissolved in the late 1960s, the couple would move to Woodstock, New York, and release music as a duo. And they were there in Woodstock at the same time that Dylan was there, and the band. I guess Todd Rundgren was around the way as well, so they had quite the neighbors there in Woodstock. Maria and Jeff's marriage ended in 1972, and at that time, of course, the band dissolved as well, their duo. At that time, the CEO of Warner Brothers, Mo Austin, requested that Maria record a solo album, and she was excited to get out of the winter snow of Woodstock, so she took her daughter Jenny, who would have been probably 8 or 9 years old at that time, as well as their dog. They went across the country to stay in a little bungalow in Laurel Canyon while recording this album that we're hearing today at the Warner Brothers Studios in North Hollywood, just a few miles north of Laurel Canyon.
Well, that would make sense with all the big LA studio names playing on this album.
Yeah, that it was recorded under those conditions. Yeah, it would be ridiculous for me to stand here and name off each and every player and give a context for who they played with, because that would be like a multi-part series.
Yeah. I do have a fun little connection I want to make, though, speaking of the session players and all that. One of the many great players on here is Bluegrass Hall of Famer Bill Keith. He was playing banjo on the Work song as well as pedal steel on 1 or 2 other tracks. He actually also played pedal steel on Ellen McElwain's Honky Tonk Angel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as well as multiple Jonathan Edwards records and many other classics.
Yeah, just to name a few. I mean, Jim Keltner, legendary drummer.
Yeah, something like 1,300 credits on Discogs for him on drums.
Yeah. David Grisman, we mentioned him, mandolin player. Of course, Amos Garrett we talked about, and David Nichtern, the guitarist. Also, Ry Cooder, guitar player of some renown on one song on here. Clarence White, Chris Etheridge, Richard Green, Mac Rebenek, a.k.a. Dr. John. Goes on and on. That's just scratching the surface.
And producer Joe Boyd, who's made like at least a dozen all-timer albums.
Yeah,
totally.
Produced a dozen.
Yeah, the Incredible String Band, that was their guy. We talked about him a bit on the McGarrigle episode.
Yeah. I saw as late as like 2014, he did a Robin Hitchcock album I really love, A Man Upstairs. And I was like, geez, he just... decades of greatness from that dude.
I think he has a memoir out that came out somewhat recently.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
I wanted to check that out. He was very young when he started, and it's funny because, I mean, here is obviously an American release, but I for the longest time didn't know that he was American because he was so associated with the UK folk stuff in my mind. And so yeah, when he was working with the string band, he wasn't much older than they were in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Well, this album, going back to Maria Muldaur, this album stylistically feels both rooted in traditional music, traditional American music, and contemporary to when it was released in the early 1970s. There are no originals by Maria. She is primarily a song interpreter. There are some old songs by people like Jimmy Rogers and Blue Lou Barker, but she covers a lot of material by her peers, the previously mentioned Dolly Parton, as well as Dan Hicks and Dr. John. And there's 2 songs on this album by a then young emerging artist named Wendy Waldman. And we'll play the song first, one of those 2 songs. We'll play Mad, Mad Me, and then come back and talk a little bit about Wendy Waldman. So this is the final song on the album. And this, even for an album that is diverse as this album, this feels like a total stylistic departure. And we'll talk about that when we come back. Mad, Mad Me, Side B, Track 6.
Carrying on a conversation, looking in your eyes. The words, they seem to pass us by, you know as well as I. How many kinds of tribulation must a friend endure? The years they leave a man unsure of where to beg when he is poor. Whoa, baby, how I love you, man, as I think you are. Guess you think I'm crazy too, but mad, mad me, I love you. Carrying on with the wordless, mindless, your eyes a flame to me. They jump and burn and make me see how much to you I wanna be.
That is definitely my favorite song on the record, other than Midnight at the Oasis, which just always amuses me. But I love this song, and to me, it's such a surprise and a standout from the rest of the record. I'm not like a huge fan of the jug band kind of sound. This one, Mad Mad Me, is definitely more Taylor coded.
Yes.
But
Yeah, this one has some like Joni Mitchell
yeah,
vibes.
absolutely.
And even proto Kate Bush.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking it's very Laura Nyro also.
Yeah.
But I do get very strong Joni Mitchell vibes from the song, particularly like the more piano-driven songs on Joni's album, Ladies of the Canyon. It's just, especially like the range she's doing, like going higher, like in her higher register and then back into her lower register. That's something that Joni really does a lot. Yeah, but I love this song. It was, as we were talking before, we heard it. It's one of 2 songs by a singer-songwriter named Wendy Waldman. The other song is the song that precedes it, called Vaudeville Man. And
yeah, which is a very different sounding song.
Yeah, exactly. Very more of that kind of rinky-dinky jug bandy sound. That's not my fave. But, you know, gotta love it. So But Wendy Waldman was I would say that they were like contemporaries, around the same age, probably. Maybe Wendy Waldman's a little bit younger. But she was
about 8 years younger, I think.
Okay, yeah, well, within the decade. So yeah, she wrote 2 of these songs, and then only a month later released her own debut album, which I believe is called Love Has Got Me. And is that right, Peter?
That sounds right. I remember seeing that it got some acclaim, like Rolling Stone cited her as like a songwriter to watch, or something like a singer-songwriter type of award for Wendy Waldman.
Yeah, so she was a singer-songwriter. I don't know her discography super well. I did listen to Love Has Got Me in preparation for this episode, and it's very much like this album where there's just a lot of different genres, different styles, and she's, very diverse songwriter. And she actually does Vaudeville Man on her own album. But yeah, this one, her debut album was released only 1 month after Maria's. And she actually went on to write another one of her songs was recorded by Maria for Maria's second album, which I think is called Waitress in a Donut Shop. And the song was called Gringo in Mexico. And yeah, so that's on Maria's second album. And then I think Wendy went on to record it as well. So they collaborated a few times.
I think Maria, she appears as a backing vocalist on that debut album by Wendy.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. Maria seems to make a lot of good friends and like do right by people. I get that impression.
Yeah, I think that even she and Bob Dylan are like still very good friends to this day.
Yeah, when I went back and watched, the last time I watched No Direction Home, the 2005 Scorsese documentary on Bob Dylan, I realized that she's pretty prominently featured in there they interviewed her and she's providing commentary on like the Greenwich scene because she was a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get the impression that her and Bob are still tight.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also wanted to point out this is one of 4 female singer-songwriters that she sang their songs on this record. It was Dolly Parton, of course, Kate McGarrigle, Wendy Waldman, and I think there was one more. There were 4 songs written by female singer-songwriters on this record.
Yeah,
Wendy Waldman wrote 2. Yes,
of them.
Exactly. Sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, that's a goodly chunk of the record to devote to, especially contemporaries.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly. There's a live performance from the mid 1980s of Maria joining the Kate and Anna McGarrigle to perform the Work song, and she mentions having been a fan of theirs for a long time, and including the Work song on her first album as a nod to them. So
yeah, and there's another performance, another video from that same concert or evening where she sings not only with Kate and Anna but with Linda Ronstadt.
Oh yeah,
so it's like a super group.
Yeah, for sure. So Maria was not pressured by Reprise or the parent company Warner Brothers to produce a follow-up hit to Midnight at the Oasis. Believe it or not, they were happy to have a surprise hit and that the record did so well. However, she did have another hit song with her version of I'm a Woman from her sophomore album that you mentioned, Taylor, Waitress in a Donut Shop. It's a Lieber and Stoller tune that had been a hit for Peggy Lee, and it was one that Maria had performed in her jug band days, but then the solo version that she included on her sophomore album did reach number 12 on the Hot 100. It was her only other U.S. Hot 100 hit to date, anyway. You never know. She's still cranking out albums, so it's not done for Maria yet. She's been. We'll talk about how steadily she's continued to release albums, which she did do on Reprise and Warner Brothers every year or two through the rest of the 1970s. Starting in the 1980s, she released albums through a variety of smaller labels at a steady pace. She released an album even this year. It's called 1 Hour Mama, The Blues of Victoria Spivey. Do any of you know of Victoria Spivey?
No.
She's an old like blues legend who then became very business savvy in her elder years and had her own label. And she actually, I didn't really go into it, but she was instrumental in Maria joining the Even Dozen Jug Band. She was kind of overseeing their development. And Maria says that she was told by the other members that Victoria Spivey told them that they needed to add sex appeal. And she suggested Maria D'Amato. And
I would say she did well, because you sent us a video of that band, and it's just a bunch of dorky looking guys all in Weezer glasses. And then out of nowhere comes Maria, and it's like, what the?
Yeah, and the audience like applauds after her very short little verse that she does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and she at the time she in the interview I watched, Maria said you have to keep in mind this was before women's lib, and I didn't even have the sense to understand that I should be offended as that being the angle of me joining the band. I was just excited and happy to join a recording and performing band. It was really interesting. She's actually a fascinating interview. She's very insightful and a good storyteller as well. There's some good interviews on YouTube to be found of her. She's continued releasing albums at a steady clip. She has somewhere around 40, as far as I can tell, which keep in mind, this album is only just over 50 years old. So that's almost an album every year for the last 50 years, pretty close to it. Every year and a quarter, year and a half.
Yeah, and she's in like her mid 80s now. Is that right?
Born in 42.
83.
So yeah, 83. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's well respected by those in the know, definitely by other musicians, but mostly people think of her as a one-hit wonder. This album is abundant in the dollar bin. You will go out to any record store and find it. I guarantee it. Check it out. There's much more than what we were even able to feature stylistically that what this has to offer. There's some of the best songs we didn't even feature. Sean, what is the one that you really like?
My favorite song on the album is Long Hard Climb.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah, there's a lot to discover on here.
I would say that Midnight at the Oasis isn't even her dirtiest song.
That's true.
There's one on there called Don't You Feel My Leg? Don't You Get Me High? That one made me feel a little, I don't know, uncomfy.
Yeah, that one is a little bit of a body uncomfortable listen. That's a Lulu Barker song but she includes like one, at least on the albums I've listened to, she always seems to include one or two of those really body risque cabaret type numbers. She seems drawn to them and just has to get them out from time to time.
Yeah.
Good for you, Maria.
She has a lot of facets, apparently.
She contains multitudes.
Just like her friend Bob.
Multitudes of albums.
Yeah, multitudes
40
of
them.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Sean, in the weird, odd, possible scenario that someone might not be able to find Maria Muldaur, do you have any suggestions for other things they can check out?
Yeah, I definitely do. I got two more familiar suggestions and one that's maybe new to a few of us. First up, the previously discussed Butterflies in Heaven by Mary McCreary, 1973. Easy to think of that one as more of a soul album, but when you listen to it, there's a lot of the same influences going on there. Blues, R&B, country, etc. I think they pair really nicely.
And that's Mary Russell, Leon Russell's
Yes, famously
ex-wife.
From the Wedding album.
Mm.
We previously talked about that Mary McCreary album.
Yeah, it's such a good album. Next up is one that we have not featured yet, but one that I've recommended multiple times, perhaps even multiple times on episodes that Taylor has guested on. Someday we'll actually cover it. Phoebe Snow, self-titled, 1974. I feel like that one is extremely similar stylistically and vocally to this.
It's definitely come up before.
Yeah. All right, so here's the new one. Are any of you familiar with the artist Tret Fury?
No.
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 Tret?
Yes, Tretfure, pronounced Tret Fury.
No.
So
No.
this is her debut solo album, came out in 1973. She's an artist originally from Marquette, Michigan, actually. Singer,
UP?
yeah. Singer-songwriter, union activist, and a leading figure in the women's music movement of the 1970s and 80s. This album has also just some incredible players on it, super stacked lineup. You got some bass by the bassist Freebo, who also plays on this Maria Muldaur album.
We didn't even mention him, but
Yeah.
apparently he's a whole thing unto himself.
Exactly. The album also features Bonnie Raitt, Gene and June Millington from Fanny, Sneaky Pete from the Flying Burrito Brothers, and Van Dyke Parks.
You had me at union activist.
Yeah, I knew I'd get you in there with that one. I think
You had me at Van Dyke Parks.
You had me at Marquette.
yeah, something for everybody on this one. So yeah, Tret Fury, self-titled 1973. Check that one out.
Isn't Marquette where Joe Pera Talks With You is based?
That's definitely like the inspiration, I'm sure, is like roughly Marquette, Michigan, if it's not specifically.
I believe that is like where it's supposed to be set. I don't know if it was really filmed there, but yeah, that is the setting.
That's my point of reference for Marquette. That concludes that thought.
It's
Cool.
pretty accurate.
Yeah. Cool. I did not know Tret Fury, but I love, I feel like there's always more people popping up from that women's movement or music movement from the 70s that I haven't heard of.
Definitely.
So I'll have to look out for Tret Fury in the thrift store.
Is that, Sean, do you happen to know, is that on the label that we talked about, the Chris Williamson album? I'm blanking on the name of the label.
Olivia? Not Olivia.
Is that on Olivia?
That album is actually a major label release that's on Uni Records. Wow. It was like she got signed, had all the star studio players on it, and then everything after that is like more smaller specific labels.
Very cool. Yeah, that's Taylor. That's definitely the kind of stuff I hear. At least it sounds like it. I should say is the type of stuff that I hear you play on the windmills of your mind from time to time.
Oh, definitely.
I would say stylistically, it leans a little more subdued and folky. There's less of the jug band sound, so I think that one's right up your alley.
Cool.
You had me at less jug.
Yep. Cool. Thanks for the rec.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sean. That's those are some good albums to be reminded of as well as to check out.
Well, thank you guys for reminding me to listen to this. I bought my copy a little over a year ago when we were all in the legendary Harvey's Basement secret record shop here in Kalamazoo.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I look at it, this is actually what goes through my mind. I say, she looks like she's having too much fun on the cover. And then I'm like, I'll just put on Leonard Cohen instead.
Yeah, I mean, she is riding a magic carpet on the album cover.
Yeah, and smiling, and it's all warm colors and birds, and yeah. So thank you for getting me to actually listen to this finally.
Yeah, I picked up my copy. They both have the classic Harvey's 50-cent sticker on the cover. That I picked mine up that same day because I didn't actually have a physical copy yet at that time, and I recommend it to you because I thought it would have some folky and bluesy and jazzy things that you would appreciate, Jeremy.
And it does.
And good, and there's some pretty good songwriting on here too, I might say.
That's true.
Like it's she is, I think overall, yes, she is a great interpreter of songs. I just think her voice she doesn't really over sing very often. I think she very much does what's appropriate for the song. I do think in some cases though, Taylor, I think I do agree that she maybe mimics in certain cases.
Yeah.
And she's very good at it.
I know. She's like too good at it. She succeeds. But that's,
Yeah.
I mean, just it only speaks to how, her skills as a singer. But yeah, I love her voice. I really love her voice on Midnight at the Oasis. Love it or hate it, that song, because I don't know, it's very it's very freewheeling, her voice. It's just kind of, she just lets it go. It's all over the place. I love it.
Yeah, I think that was the appeal between her voice on that, and it almost feels to me like it's the girl from Ipanema of the 1970s. It has that jazzy influence and that really tasty guitar from Amos Garrett.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like someone else would make it very gimmicky because the lyrics are kind of gimmicky and like kind of winky, but she doesn't really lean into that too much, and she isn't self-conscious at all. So I think that's another part of why maybe it came off as sexier rather than like goofier.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, well, based on her accounts, it worked. And all her accounts of people telling her that it was a sexy song that led to sexy times for them. Well, that's really all I have to say about this album, other than just pick it up. You'll have a whole lot to dive into. If one song isn't your thing, probably another will be. It's worth the 50 cents or $1 you're going to pay for it.
Taylor, what kind of Hollywood stuff are you up to out there?
What kind of Hollywood stuff am I up to
Taylor
out here?
Hollywood Rowley.
Oh my God. Not much. Not too much. It's been kind of a weird year for work, as was last year, but this year was kind of weirder than last year. But it's getting better. I'm working on a new movie that I'm excited about. Can't give too many details. Don't even know. It's like in production now, but I'm working on India Donaldson's new movie.
I don't think we've had a chance on the podcast for me to say how much I loved Good One. I finally saw it.
I'm so happy that you saw
India
it.
Donaldson's debut film that you were music supervisor on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so proud of that film. She was like my dream collaborator. I would do anything for her. So she's making another movie and I'm music supervising it, and we started working together on it already, and I'm stoked. So maybe next time I'm on, I'll have more deets about when it might be released. But right now it's so early stages that I don't have much to say other than that.
And if people want to enjoy your musical tastes, they can always check out Windmills of Your Mind on NTS Radio, correct?
That's true. It's on every other Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then you can find it archived on the NTS website or my own website, which is windmillsofyourmind.org, kind of like within 1 to 2 days after it airs.
Yeah, if I don't catch it at work, which the day can depend on what's going on, can depend on whether I can listen at work or not. I always can dig into that archive, and I try to keep up because there's just a plethora of great stuff that you have mined over the years from the bins that you play on there. It's more and more frequently, I feel like I don't know anything that you play.
Oh, good.
It's all new.
Cool. No, that's great. Thank you for, keeping up with it and tuning in. Most of the stuff that I play is pretty new to me too. I'm always just digging around and trying to play the stuff that excites me, and that's usually stuff that I've just found. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Of course. Yeah, I think I got really excited when you had played a Peter Ivers selection. Of course, for those who don't know, Peter Ivers, sort of a cult figure. He wrote along with David Lynch, wrote the "In Heaven Everything Is Fine" song from Eraserhead, would probably be among his best known things. But he weirdly also wrote like songs for the Pointer Sisters, and he kind of pops up all over the place. He hosted an influential music program in Los Angeles, and then sadly murdered at a young age. So yeah, I got stoked when you were playing some Peter Ivers.
Oh yeah, and then I sent it to you. You asked me for it.
You did. Thank you for doing that.
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, not to get into like a whole like true crime podcast on this episode, but yeah, his death is like still unsolved, right?
That last I knew, yes.
Well, maybe we'll do a side podcast on that.
On Peter Ivers.
More podcasts all the time.
All the time, yeah, for sure. We're there. Let's do it. Well, we should probably get out of here. We were going to leave on the song $3 Bill.
Y'all. God, I've been waiting for that all episode.
Thank you, Jeremy. I think we didn't remember you were gonna go there. It's so long ago in the intro now. I about jumped out of my skin there. Written by Mac Rebenek, aka Dr. John, who performs keyboards on this song as well as a couple other songs on the album. He also provides the arrangements. I mean, does Dr. John need any introduction? He was at the right place, wrong time, right?
True.
Which was a hit right around this time. I did want to mention that this features backing vocals by Jessica Smith, Betty Lavette, and Gloria Jones. Yes, Gloria Jones of Tainted Love fame and later girlfriend of Mark Boland of T-Rex. So yeah, the big names just don't cease on this album. They're everywhere. It's an incredible stacked lineup. Get it just for that, if nothing else. Even though I love the songs, you get photos of all the players too. Like they really emphasize that. Like, look who's on this album on the back side of it.
Yeah, it's like the whole back pretty much.
Wow.
Yep. So I saw that this actually charted on the adult contemporary charts. This song. It wasn't in the Hot 100, but somehow $3 Bill, y'all, reached it onto the adult contemporary charts. So little other chart action on this album.
It's probably where Fred Durst first heard it.
I would be willing to guess yes. Sean, are you a Dr. John guy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like Right Place, Wrong Time was one of my first favorite songs that I can think of, and I love it just as much to this day.
Nice. Well, Taylor, thank you again for finally helping us cover this album.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on. It was great to talk to you guys, as always.
We will no doubt have you back again before the season is up. But let's get out of here. $3 Bill. Thank you for listening to I'd Buy That for $1. I'm co-host Peter Cook.
I'm co-host Jeremy.
I'm co-host Sean Hartman.
I'm Taylor Rowley.
The dogs are coming for someone.
I think it's me. They're coming for me.
Is that on your end, Taylor?
I think so.
You're at the right place at the wrong time.
Ooh, well done.